Bangladesh's new caretaker leader, Mohammad Yunus, has praised the students who overthrew the country's authoritarian government. Arriving home at Dhaka airport, he said they'd saved Bangladesh and given the nation a second independence. But he warned this newfound freedom needed to be protected. The Nobel Peace Prize winner spent the last few days in France for medical treatment. He and his cabinet will be sworn in the coming hours. Speaking to reporters upon his arrival, Yunus vowed to restore law and order. Let's have a listen.
Our first order of business should be to restore law and order. Until that is taken care of, we will not be able to proceed to further improve the situation. You have shown faith in me, and the students here have trusted me to carry out that duty. I request the residents of Bangladesh to believe in me. If you do that, there will be no attacks at any locations in the country.
Prapti Taposhi is a student activist. Yunus thanked you, the students, for saving Bangladesh. Hundreds died for this. How do you feel about his words?
Thank you so much for the question. First of all, Mohammad Yunus just returned to our country a few hours ago, and he thanked all of us, all of the students, for our courage and the sacrifices that we made. This is obviously a good sign that he acknowledged the students' sacrifices, how the students led the movement, and how the students started to take decisions on their own, and how the whole nation supported them. And I believe this is really a good sign that he acknowledges us, and he says that he will try to cooperate with us and to work with us as per our thoughts, and will respect how we look to create the scenario in near future.
But is the violence over? We've spoken to analysts who say this is a very volatile situation.
No, absolutely not. I won't say the violence is over. The situation here in Bangladesh is extremely chaotic, I would say. And this would be 4 days from the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's resignation. We are living in a completely lawlessness situation. You already must have known that the police have started on a strike, and there is no police in the communities of Bangladesh, and the army has taken over. But as I have said before, that we could not see the army to be done enough. They could do so much more to protect the minorities, to protect the lootings that have been happening. So I would say the situation is still very extremely tense, very volatile. The minority people are still very anxious. They're still living in terror and fear. And the students who are working to protect them, there are so many people in Bangladesh. The students are creating small, larger groups, support groups, and the people living in nearby areas, the civilians, they are creating smaller groups, support groups to protect the minorities, to protect themselves. But I'd like to add that this is not the job, this is not the duty of the students or either the civilians. This is where the army should work on it, and the whole law and order situation should be taken into control, because in this situation, nobody is safe anymore, and particularly the minority community is not could not live peacefully in this country anymore, in this lawlessness situation.
And not only that, but Yunus has also warned that this newfound freedom needs to be protected. Do you see Yunus as someone who's able to change the system in the time that he's going to be interim leader?
Very interesting question. First of all, you know that the whole scenario, the whole system that Bangladesh has experienced in last 16 years, this is not for only one person, the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The whole system is so autocratic, so passive, that the whole system needs to be changed. The constitution needs to be reformed properly. There should be proper good governance. There should be proper judicial system. There should be inclusivity in every sphere of our country. So yes, the students have welcomed Dr. Mohammad Yunus. We all look up to him. The entire nation is looking up to him right now. And I believe the international media are also looking up to him. So this is a major responsibility of Dr. Mohammad Yunus. And I believe, along with the whole interim government that is is yet to be formed. We all look up to him. We all look up to them, actually. And we believe that this is not a job of one person or one interim government. Everyone, every civilians, every intellectuals that Bangladesh have should come forward to work for the betterment of the people, because we are calling it our second independence. And just as Dr. Yunus said, if you can protect it, then all of our sacrifices, all of the bloodshed, all of the living in fear and tension will be of no use. So we believe that obviously we are hopeful, but we are also being very critical. We are also having an eye on the interim government. We are also watching what will they do next.
Do you also have an eye on the military? I mean, it's part of the system. You referred to them before. Can the military be trusted?
I don't think at all the military should be trusted. Why am I saying this? Because, the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she fled away, and the military have helped her to flee away. And this is an open news. Every news media, every international agencies have actually covered that. So, and after that, after the resignation of Sheikh Hasina, after that she fled away, we saw that there was so many havoc and so many lootings that happened. The minorities were being attacked and other people were getting looted, and the military did not do enough. They did not even do the bare minimum they could have done. Just yesterday, there was so many tension at night in the capital of Bangladesh, at Dhaka. The people stayed all night awake. The civilian people, they could not sleep at night. They formed smaller support groups, and they kept an eye on the local area, because there was a news that the whole area will be getting looted. So this is the situation where the army should be taken care of us. As the army chief Waqar-uz-Zaman, he said that he will take care of our safety, he will take care of our security, and he said us to trust him, and we trusted him. But right now, after 4 days, I don't see that the army is doing enough, and I wholeheartedly urge the Bangladesh army to do the bare minimum and to do whatever they can to protect the minorities, to protect the unarmed civilians, to protect the students. And I would also like to urge the Bangladeshi interim government to absolutely process the whole law of order into peace, and so that all the nation people, all the people who sacrificed their life, all the people who were in so much tension, who are in so much uncertainty, finally they can be able to sleep and live in peace.
Bangladeshi student activist Prapti Taposhi, thank you very much for being on DW again.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to welcome Mainul Islam Khan, a journalist joining us today from the capital of Bangladesh. So Mohammed Yunus expected to be sworn in later today, taking over after weeks of deadly protests and then more recently retributive attacks. Will he be able to bring the country together again?
Thank you. Now is the time when Professor Yunus is the name of confidence of the students who participated in the protest of these weeks, and the entire nation. From people from every sector is now waiting, eagerly waiting for him to take the charge of the country, and this is the only name that people depends on, and everyone believes that he is the only person that is able to control and manage the situation right now.
Indeed, the students who led the protests were very much pushing for Yunus's appointment here. What do you think the biggest challenges are that he will be facing as he returns to Bangladesh?
Well, he has many challenges that he has to face right after he swear in. The first challenge would be to restore the security in the entire country, to bring to send the students back to the classroom and the people sent to back to the home, and restore the security, organize the policing across the country. And at the same time, there are several offices and the departments whose several top officials are resigning, and he will have to appoint his first cabinet. At the same time, he will have to appoint a lot of people in several departments, the top officials, like the central bank and the National Bureau of Revenue, etc. To to control the management of the country.
Now, he's very much a revered figure, as we've hinted at, but I'm curious, because he was somebody the student protesters wanted to see and is seen as a rival of Sheikh Hasina, will he be a person who is able to do that for all Bangladeshis, or will he continue to face opposition?
Well, I would say right at the moment, the previous ruling party activists, everybody is now, I would say, in a very low profile or in zero profile position. And he is getting support from the other stakeholders and the political parties. There are other political parties and the students. So I think for now he can manage, and his tenure will actually say that how much the previous political party activists, how they actually appear, with their agendas in the coming days.
Of course, this is also just supposed to be temporary. He's just at the head of a caretaker government. Can you walk us through what happens next?
Well, it is temporarily appointment, but at the same time, the huge challenges that he is going to he will have to tackle to bring the peace, at least to control everything in the country. And I am not very optimistic to say that it will happen in a very short time. But at the same time, it is very early to say how much time you would need to organize everything, to reform, because the biggest demand of the student protesters is to reform in every sector. So reform will take some time, and then it is very early to say how much time he probably would need to reform in the important sectors, including the election commission, to call for an election.
It will indeed be one of the big questions in the months ahead. Thank you so much for joining us on DW News. That is journalist Mainul Islam Khan in Dhaka.